You've been an extra in movies.
Yes.
And who's the hot one? Was it Gina?
Gina Gershon.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, one-on-one.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, here, our guest coming up in just a few seconds here was like speaking part, like Hollywood movies with Heather Locklear.
Oh, okay, that's awesome.
Okay, the movie's called The Perfect Man. This is what it looked like.
Now I'd like to introduce to you the head of our guidance department, Dr. Charles Fitch.
Hey there, everyone. Let me tell you how I run the guidance department. I have an open door policy, which means you can stop by my office whenever you want. I also have an open mind policy. There are no stupid questions. So please, if you have something on your mind, knock on my door.
Mom.
Or raise your hand. Woman in the back, go ahead.
Instead of once a year, have you considered a monthly forum where students and teachers could exchange thoughts in an effort to enhance communication and bridge gaps?
That's a great comment, Mrs.
Miss Hamilton. I also wondered if you thought of monthly mixers for single parents. Not that I don't want to meet married parents as well. I would. It's just that sometimes we single parents have different concerns than married ones, different priorities.
Needs.
If you know what I mean. And by priorities, I mean I need to meet a good man.
In that case, where do I sign up?
Yeah. Yes, that's exactly how it went. And then I'm imagining Jeff Lumby, a torrid love affair filled full of sexual wonder and
that's awesome.
And
She looked good
exploring
there.
of
She looked
bodies.
good there. She wasn't all coked up.
No, well, don't knock that either, Dave.
And age too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that looked
That's okay.
fantastic.
Big hand for
Well
our
done.
guest, our pal Jeff Lumby.
Thank you very much.
Hard to do that in front of everybody too. How many takes was that?
Well, you had to do it for every different camera angle,
I know, I
right?
hate
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
Ugh,
But you could see how all over me she was.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There
I think
were-
she was actually when she read her script.
Yeah.
She was actually referring to you.
Well, clearly.
It's like
Yeah.
get rid of the other 75
Yeah.
people
Well-
in the room, and we got this.
Yeah.
Where do you think Carol Pope came up with Cream My Jeans? That was from that scene.
Probably. Yeah. Even though it probably happened 20 or 30 years ago. But you know what? I got to say, I know she's having a tough time right now. She was one of the nicest people I've ever met. She didn't have to come up and introduce herself, but she did, and she was really sweet. I feel bad for all the crap that she's going through.
Because anytime you see it or hear about it, you know it's not going to be good.
No.
Yeah.
It's like,
yes, but
what's she doing now?
that's when you can get them. I'm just saying. I'm throwing it out there for the kids that are learning.
Where was that filmed?
Just in Toronto, like at Woodman High School. I don't know.
Okay,
like
so
over in the beaches somewhere.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, so most people, of course, of a certain age, Y95 was massive in Hamilton, but it wasn't Hamilton. It was the GTA. The numbers at that time when you came now, and again, for people who know Jeff or know of the name, it was the way radio used to work. And so you'd start with a certain company, and within that company was almost like being there was like a farm team, and you worked your way up to what was considered, depending on the company, their big shows. And of course you had to be groomed, and it took a long time to either get to Toronto or wherever that market was. So for those who don't know your background, you're a born bred Saskatchewan boy.
Saskatchewan, yeah, and as you. Just like the WKRP in Cincinnati song goes, traveling from place to, so you try and move up in market size, right? And so that took me to Alberta, Lloydminster, Moose Jaw, blah blah, all these places, Winnipeg, Montreal, and then eventually out here. And it's funny, I was having lunch with a buddy who's in radio right now, and I said, yeah, Y95, we had a 5-guy morning show, and he just put his head in his hands. You don't have 5 guys running a radio station anymore, let alone on a morning show.
Exactly.
You know,
Five Guys is not only a great restaurant, but Five Guys is your 6 o'clock time slot till 6 p.m.
Yeah.
total.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Exactly. And look, you've worked with a lot of guys that a lot of people would know. You start where? What's the first radio station?
First radio station is CJWW way back when I first started. It was like right out of high school, so 70s.
And that's what town? Where are you?
Saskatoon.
You're in Saskatoon.
Yeah. And then it's like Lloydminster, and then we just trip all over the place. But, some pretty key stops like City FM in Winnipeg with
92.
Danny Kingsbury. And Danny and I met at my second radio station in Lloydminster, Alberta, along with another buddy of ours, Dan Duran. And Danny kind of ended up going the management route, and we ended up working together at I think 3 or 4 different radio stations. So, but that was a pretty big step, because I got onto a morning show there in Winnipeg, and then from there it was Montreal, and I worked with my buddy Howard out there, who later started working with Fred Patterson, Humble and Fred. Okay, but then it was after that the Hamilton thing happened on our honeymoon. I said, Julie, you want to move from Montreal to Hamilton? And she said, okay. So
Who was your partner at City FM? Was that before or after Tom and Larry? Because I'm trying to remember. Because I grew up in Winnipeg.
Okay,
it's before.
Well, when did you grow up there?
So
I'm
okay. So I'm born in '72.
Yeah.
Recollection is in the '80s. I started, and they were probably in the '90s. You were there when?
We were there I was there '85 to like '87, '88, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. So that was by the Polo Park Studios.
Yeah, that was the Breakfast Club.
Because they moved. Okay, very good. Yeah, and KY58 was part of the. Yeah. And the arena was over there, just like
the arena and the football stadium.
You could throw a brick into it from
fantastic.
your
Everything was right there.
Awesome location. Everything was together, Mike. And now they have the arena downtown, which is great. But the football stadium's all the way out by the University of Manitoba. Yeah. Nice stadium, but hard to get to sometimes.
There was even a velodrome there.
Yes, that's right. That's right, for the cycling. That's
and
right.
a great steakhouse.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. A building specifically for cycling. Knock yourself out.
Well, that's where they should be.
Yeah. Let's put them all in there.
Not on the road.
And then fill it full of water. This is what I'm saying.
My favorite thing with the cyclists is you're in a nice restaurant somewhere out in, Caledon or something, and 20 of them come in after a 50K ride smelling like a bus.
Yeah.
Hey!
Yeah. Now, the reason you get in this industry, and people may not know this, is your family, your parents, on some levels, and I think I can honestly say this, pioneers in a lot of the field.
Oh, for sure.
Whether it was photography, whether it was radio, whether it was television, whether it was the syndication of television, your parents were front runners in a lot of that, and a lot of the industry here in Canada.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My mom and dad started at a television station in Saskatoon when it began in like 1955, and well, you were at my dad's memorial and you saw all those photos.
It was spectacular.
And he was a photographer, then a cinematographer, and then we had our own show. But in between all that, he and my mom made documentary films in Saskatoon. So yeah, I came by it honestly, and they worked with people in radio who eventually helped get me into radio originally, and then from there on, that's when jogging around the country happens.
And your mom worked at 1050 Chum, which I didn't realize, and was she the first woman?
Oh, I don't think so.
But in some capacity, when she was like a producer or something, or at some level, like I looked at it and thought, okay.
She wasn't here long.
No.
That's when she mailed back my dad's engagement ring.
Oh, that's
that's
a little cold.
Yeah, mailed it back, and then missed him so much that she had to come back to Saskatoon. So yeah, no, that's.
Hey, it's one of the great love stories.
It is.
I mean, the one thing people say, celebration of life, is it going to be awkward? Do you feel whatever it is? I can honestly say, over my Christmas holidays, and it will sound weird when I say this, but it was my favorite day. It was the best day I had over that period of time, because it truly was a celebration of life. Jeff put together a video of almost like a mini documentary of what it was like growing up in that house with his father, the relationship with his mom and his siblings. And it was something I said, if it was on like the documentary channel, it wouldn't even have to be edited, just put it on. It was so fantastic, so interesting. That really was amazing. And of course, all the guys you talked about, like Humble, were there.
Yeah. Danny, Dan.
Yeah.
All the good folks. He was a great man. He really was. he taught me a lot, and I did sound for some of his films, so I was holding the big shotgun mic for a lot of his films. Like, that was my summer job, was going flying all over the province. Mainly, he did forest documentaries, so it was doing that kind of stuff.
Well, and see, so Jeff and I meet. I think I'm just after I'm at the Fan, and myself and Derringer, and we have a session. And because I heard of the radio station, I still didn't grasp why where these numbers were coming from and what Y95 was. And Jeff and I, during one of the voice sessions, running each other, and we've been as close as anything since that time. So I end up going to Y95, and there were no more two very different styles on approaching how a show is done. I'll just say that. One very prepared, a lot of typed scripts.
I know nothing of this.
A lot of spell check, a lot of pre-reading, some pre-recording.
And then there was yours.
Then there was mine.
Yeah. Do we have any bar napkins here that we can write some bits on?
Yeah.
But you know what? Here's the great thing about it. We never had one disagreement on the show.
No.
And the bottom line was, if Mike said he was coming in with something, he came in with something. Yep. It may have been on a bar napkin. No, it was on a bar napkin. But I
was like, no, there's a girl's name. I need that one.
Don't throw that one out.
Yeah. But we produced so much stuff. I remember seeing on a blog one time, someone said, is it just me? Or for like this window, this period of time, Y95 was the coolest little secret, the coolest radio morning show to listen to. And it was fun because...
Without question, the best radio I've ever done was with you.
Well,
it's like you say, it was just such a mammoth amount of content
and production, because I said you were a stickler for it. I had run headline comedy with my brother Scotty, so I always had stuff every week.
Yeah.
But we produced on top of that.
Yes, tons.
Yeah,
and the characters, like, it was, and I don't think that it lends itself to today's radio because it involves a lot of work.
Yeah. And talent. What they call talent.
There's a lot of mail-ins going on out there. Let's just say that. But we did a boatload of work on that show. We really did. It
was great. And, of course, in a very strange twist, we end up at a station called Y95, and you'll see some of the Kiss FM.
Kiss FM.
And you'll see some of the pictures up there. When we did country, man, we did a little bit of country. And Jefferson and Richards was the first name of it. And does that not sound country, man? Jefferson and Richards.
Who's this? There's a picture that you posted today.
That was Mindy. Was it McCready? Mindy McCready.
No, really?
Yeah, she was going out with the blonde one.
No, the other one. Yeah.
She redid for country. She redid the song "I've Got a Brand New Pair of Roller Skates." The Key. The song was called "The Key" or "Brand New Key."
Yeah, this one right here.
Brand New Key.
Yeah.
Mindy McCready.
You sure that was her?
And she was going out with Dean Cain, Superman at the time. And then dumped them
because she was all over me too. As you can,
I can certainly see that. Anyone would. Well,
that's the movie cover for Three-Way Weekend.
Right there.
It's the beginning of every.
Look at how you're so far in the background in that shot, and really not even. You're not even really being. Well, I mean, you're kind. It was supposed to be. I think she wanted like a selfie type of thing.
I had other pictures, but could you get closer? Look at that. Hey, Harvey Weinstein, take it down a notch there. She came, but see, we met some unbelievable people.
We met Vince Gill.
To me, that
Trisha Yearwood.
We did a special one-on-one. Now this is so funny. There's a couple of one I can mention, one I can't. In this one particular story, they had something called something at 5 or Live at 5 or whatever. So we had
Live at 5.
Yeah, Live at 5.
Yeah.
So we had to come on a Sunday night.
KJ.
And she was coming in from Montreal. And Jeff goes, well, the reason she's coming in from Montreal is because Garth Brooks is playing in Montreal.
Oh,
but this was not yet.
No, not yet. He goes, so she's coming in because she's seen Garth. They go, oh, she is not. And she comes in. She's all like, hi everyone. I'm like, oh, yeah, she is.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, she was one of the most fun human beings.
Awesome.
What a riot. I mean, funny, like genuinely funny.
They were all country music. The one thing about it, we've worked a lot of different formats. Country music for that very short period of time was so enjoyable because of the people that came through there. So Vince Gill was great.
Vince Gill was shy, if you can believe that.
Yeah.
He was kind of, sitting against the wall. Hey, how y'all doing? Like, he was just
and then you pick up the
sweetheart.
guitar and you're like, and then the voice comes out.
Yeah.
One of the best guitar players in the world.
Yeah, that was a great time. But of all the places that we went and all the places we've been, see, Montreal, people may not understand that in Montreal he actually lived with one of the tandems that played goal for the Montreal Canadiens, which leads to this, what will be a very, I'm assuming, painful story, because very often they end very angrily in some of your stories.
My stories?
Yes. Yeah. Mine are just disasters. Mine are just like
No, this is a
Titanic.
pretty good story.
Oh, is it?
Well, we'll see.
Okay, all right.
I seem to remember it being a good story.
All right.
But yeah, so I met Brian when I was at City FM.
Yeah,
Brian Hayward.
Brian Hayward.
Yeah.
And going to visit him actually in a couple of weeks. He's got a place up north here. So
is he still up there?
yeah, he's got a place.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So you knew him in Winnipeg? And
No,
then...
so yeah, I met him in Winnipeg,
Yeah.
and we met in an elevator of our building. I didn't know this. We lived on the same floor in this small high-rise.
Interesting.
Are you Brian Hayward? And I go, yeah. I said, I'm the coach, Jeff Lumby. I did sports at the time.
Yeah.
He goes, I listen to you every morning. Anyway, we hit it off.
Perfect.
And his most dreaded team in the NHL, because he's from Georgetown, was Montreal.
Oh, boy.
And one day I get a voicemail, Coach, you're not going to believe this. I just got traded to the effing Montreal Canadiens. so I wish I still...
Steve Penny. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
for
right.
Steve Penny.
Yeah.
So he's out in Montreal for a few weeks, and he goes, you got to get out here, man. The English radio is brutal.
Yeah.
So I send a tape. I get a job. It was really
Wow.
kind of cool. So I was living with Brian, 88 and then into the 89 season, and meeting all the guys, hanging out with like Chelios and Nyland.
There's
and all
a young goaltender that Brian Hayward played with was pretty good too. And that was Patrick Waugh.
Patrick Waugh,
That's
yeah,
right. He
yeah,
came
yeah,
in at
yeah,
that time,
sorry, yeah,
87, yeah.
So many stories. I remember I had one of my drama awards on a table, and he had a Jennings award, and then
Similar.
I'm eating at the table. I'm eating my spaghetti, and he walks in with the second Jennings award.
No.
Looks for a place to put it. Grabs my acting award from Saskatchewan. Fires it across the room. Puts So
Hey, let me interject what it says on this award,
That's
because when I saw this
awesome.
in his house when he lived in Oakville, I go down. I'm looking at all these trophies and stuff. And
Yeah.
seen best chess player or whatever, attendance, this kind of stuff, and then I see
Participation badges everywhere. Right?
Dave, no, hold on. Then I see this plaque. It says, "Best Actor Saskatchewan," and it was for Flowers of Algernon.
yeah.
I said, "Come on, He
Charlie
goes, "Yeah."
Gordon.
Yeah, there he played Charlie.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the one that strangles the puppies or whatever. And so when Brian Hayward's got Jennings Awards, he's looking for a space. That kills me.
Oh, it's fun. It's funny stuff. So anyway, I buy a house out in St. Lazare, and then the 1989 season begins.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone had a good feeling about the 89 season, and my brother, who's also a Habs fan, 10 years younger than me, so he's at this time he's 20, and his gift, because I had Habs season tickets at the Forum, and his gift was at Christmas, if they make the final, you can come out and watch all the games.
Wow.
So it was pretty cool. So it happens.
Yes, it
Calgary and
right.
Montreal, and the radio station was a block from the Forum on Fort Street in Montreal.
That's the life right there.
Yeah,
You got everything happening.
Yeah, so what I used to do is I would go over, watch the practices, and then go out for lunch with everybody.
Sure.
So the one day, we go out for lunch, all the guys and me, and there's Svoboda, and there's Naslund, and all these guys, and sitting next to me is Larry Robinson, the nicest human being on the planet.
Big Bird.
And so I said this to him, and I can't even believe, because my brother's in town now, and I'm way out in St. Lazare, which is Hudson, right?
Right.
And that's where Larry lives. Larry lived in St. Lazare. So I say to him, is this a big pain? I know this is the Stanley Cup Finals and everything, but I come in, I do my morning show, and then I'm kind of stuck here in the city, and my brother's out there right now. Would you mind picking him up for practice?
Oh, my God.
And he goes, that's not a problem.
Wow.
So I didn't tell my brother. Did not tell my brother.
Oh,
Julie
perfect.
stays out in St. Lazare.
Yeah.
She's all in on this thing. He's sleeping. Ding dong. Julie, hey Larry. Okay, just hang on. Goes in. John. Hard sleeper. There's somebody at the door here. Can you come on out?
This is the acting coming out.
Yeah, see.
So
He doesn't lose it.
No.
my brother comes around the corner like this. Larry Robinson, come on, John, get dressed. We're going to practice. On the way in, he picks up Larry's Peter Svoboda, picks up Mats Naslund, takes my brother into the Forum, sticks him in the penalty box for a Stanley Cup practice.
Oh, good God.
Tours him through the with the torch.
Amazing.
And tours him through the
Yeah.
dressing room, and
Yeah.
it's just the greatest story. And then of course we watched all the games, and I think was it Game 6 or Game 7, the only time the Habs lost the cup
on home ice. Yeah.
On home ice.
Yeah.
And there we are. And I'm watching the damn game, and it's over. And my hatred for Lanny McDonald is unrivaled.
Yeah, see, and I've never known anyone to ever say that sentence.
No,
I've
me
never known
neither.
anyone
Me neither.
say this about Lanny, but Jeff Lumby, says this about Lanny.
Well, probably because he was a Leaf.
Right.
And that stupid helmet, that stupid domey helmet.
Yeah, the Northland helmet.
Yeah, like what was that? Bringing in Russian signals, that thing. I don't know. So anyway, I said to my brother, I said, okay, this is great. You know, Gilmore's picking up the Plinsky, everybody. I'm telling you right now, when he picks that cup up, I'm out of here. So you can either come with me or you can stay and watch the rest. We're leaving. He touches the cup, I'm out. I'm gone. So the two people that you see, excuse me, pardon me, coming through, that was me.
Yeah. Excuse me, pardon me. Excuse me,
No
coming
kidding.
through.
No kidding.
But
That's awesome.
Oh, I see what you mean by the anger now.
Yes.
I just-
Yeah, no one's ever seen that before.
No.
But as we mentioned beforehand,
Yes.
production and content has been an enormous part of this man's career. And you attempted something that I've only seen either the band or group that originally did this song. And then once in a disastrous attempt to cast this for a commercial, it was like Burger King or Wonderland or I don't know, it just died because the original group that did this.
Reunion.
And when you hear this, you're going to recognize right away what it was, and this would be from, I think the song was in the 70s.
Yeah, the song was in the 70s,
Yes.
and Humble and I did this. So it's Howard and I on this song. We did this, which got played on Hockey Night, by the way.
Cool.
Yeah, it got played on Hockey Night in Canada. And this is what CJFM in Montreal was playing in the 1989 playoffs.
And there's a reason why this song probably would never be attempted today.
Buffalo and Minnesota, Calgary, LA and Boston, Edmonton, Detroit and Pittsburgh, Philly, Jersey, Washington and Winnipeg, Chicago, Hartford, TO, New York and Quebec, Vancouver, New York and St. Louis. All these teams could really do it. Islanders and Capitals, the nicknames of the NHL, the Oilers and the Maple Leafs. Hey boy, oh boy, now there's a team. The Jets and Sabres, Stars and Hawks, Nordiques and Devils, Flyers, Penguins, Whalers, Kings and Wings and Flames. The winner plays 100 games. Canucks and Bruins and the Rangers. All these teams are in big danger.
Habs to the top. Watch the puck roll our way. The tradition of winning. And a couple of fist fights. Whoa,
As I said, see, okay, harmony. Who's doing harmonies now? Who knows what harmony is?
at the end of
And it's not E-harmony either, you freaks.
the top shines the Stanley Cup.
Here comes Howard.
Here we go. And take a breath, go.
Banner, banner from the rafters, all the teams, it's what they're after. Year in year, they hear their call. So far, there's 23 and all. There's 1930, 31, and 45, and 53. There's 1955 through 60. What a streak, it can't be beat. The pocket, rocket, Elmer Lockham, J.C. Trombley, Jacques Lemaire, LaPerriere, and Guy Lapointe, Von Lambert. Then there's Cournoyer and Bellevaux and Scotty Bowman. Don't you know there's Dickie, Howie, Toe, and Boom Boom, Gumper, Dryden, Surgeon, Fergie, Montreal, their finest hour. Don't forget about the flower.
To the top.
See there, that, I mean, that's a piece of history. As you said, made it to Hockey Night in Canada. Radio stations used to do that. Now they farm this stuff out. Look,
Yeah.
they'll go to like a studio and a bunch of rap guys, and then they'll come up with a song.
That's a tough call. Rap a song.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it is remarkable how much stuff you have done. Now the other thing, because I know you've actually got some voice work to do, so I know you have to run. But I did want to get this in because a lot of people, aside from the radio side of things, the television side of things was a little show, and it did start off as a little show, that being Red Green.
Yeah,
but
Red
it didn't.
Green.
But it didn't end up little.
What a gift from heaven that was. Steve Smith, Red Green, and I were both asked to be parade float judges in Kitchener at the Oktoberfest. We met, we ended up hitting it off, and one thing led to another. And I was on that show for 12, 13 years.
13 years.
As the sewage and septic sucking guy. And, he pulled me aside because we had done some stuff on Y95 for him, some handyman corners, and then he pulls me aside one day at lunch and he says, "Yeah, we're thinking of we're thinking of hiring a sewage and septic sucking guy, and your name floated to the top.
Done.
Yeah, I'm in. So that was very fun. And so, yeah, for doing the morning show, and then Wednesdays and Saturdays going out to CBC in Toronto to shoot.
Okay.
Yeah, it was great fun.
How many seasons did you say that was? 12 seasons?
For me, it was, I think, 12 or 13. The show was 1990 to 2005, and I
Yes.
think I got in about 92.
Oh, very
something
good.
like that.
And the show wasn't just a Canadian hit, because I believe it was also shown in the States. Was it PBS that showed
yeah,
it?
PBS, all over the place.
So you actually had to go sometimes in character.
Yeah, we would do these shows. Like, I would do sewage and septic sucking shows. and they would tour me around like I knew what I was. Yeah, we got this new toilet system here. You might be interested. It's almost like I play one on TV. You know that old.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Very fun.
That's amazing. So great. Look, thank you so much for coming
pal,
in.
really a lot of fun.
You are the best. And as I said, when my life was really shit, I mean, when that personal life was, when people look at it now, they're like, I can't watch. As Jeff said once, you're amazing, because at every choice where you could have taken a right turn and made the right move, you made the wrong ones.
George Costanza.
Every time, took a left. Unbelievable. Yet he and Julie, God bless them, were there to pick up all the pieces and carry me through all that time.
You're easy to be a friend of, my friend.
That was a very special time. So thanks very much. I'm sure we'll get you in again
Absolutely.
sometimes.
That was real fun.
Awesome finally meeting you.
Yeah, you too,
yes,
Dave. Cheers.
absolutely. As Jeff goes out, you wonder. So it's Winston Rothschild III.
The third.
Isn't it?
This is the Wrath of Grapes.
The Wrath of Grapes, where they used to do these word games, red green, right here on rawmicrodges.com.
It's time for the Possum Lodge word game! Today's winner receives this coupon from Mr. Guido's Barbershop and Craft Emporium. You'll love our homemade mittens made entirely from nose hair. Come on in and pick yours today. All right, Glenn, cover your ears. Okay, Red, you have 30 seconds to get Glenn Braxton to say this word. Work. Work. And go.
Okay, Glenn, this is something people do for most of their lives.
Age.
No. Other than sleep. People do this a lot.
Nap.
No, okay, you finish your breakfast, you say, see you later, honey, I'm going to...
Lie down.
No, but I mean, like to have money, to put food on the table, you go to...
The wife's purse.
No, okay, Glenn, if you were, say, a mechanic or a carpenter, you'd make sure you had a something bench.
Comfortable.
No. Oh, this is something happy people do, okay? Whistle while you...
Relieve yourself.
Red,
Yeah.
almost out of time.
Okay, Glenn, you're retired now, but what did you used to do every week, Monday to Friday?
Phone in sick.
Now, Glenn, you're not thinking about this. This is a word for a job, okay? Where you go in every day, put in your time, and then at the end of the week, you get paid.
I heard about this, Red. I just could never make it work for me.
There we go.
There, once again, the work of our good friend Jeff Lumby, Steve Smith, the show Red Green.
What? We just become best friends? Yep.